Ladies and gentlemen, the ceremony will begin in 5 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, the ceremony will begin momentarily. We ask that all photographers remain behind the first row chairs and that all electronic devices are turned off or set to silent mode. Or you can be on the side, like Angela is over there. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Major General Phil Brooks, the Commanding General of the United States Army Fire Center of Excellence at Fort Sill, welcome to this afternoon's retreat and welcome ceremony. From ancient times, armies throughout the world have conducted ceremonies to commemorate victories, honor comrades in arms, and celebrate special occasions as we are doing today. These ceremonies add color and pageantry to military life and preserve traditions and sustain esprit de corps. Today, we are bidding farewell to Brigadier General Promotable David Pritchett and his wife Julie as he relinquishes his duties as the Deputy Commanding General for the Army National Guard Field Artillery, and are also welcoming Brigadier General Brian Wertzler and his wife Jennifer as he assumes the responsibility as the Deputy Commanding General for the Army National Guard Field Artillery. At this time, we would like to extend a sincere welcome to our distinguished guests. Joining us this afternoon are Major General Phil Brooks, Commanding General, United States Army Fire Center of Excellence at Fort Sill, and his wife Lori. Command Sergeant Major Neil Sartain, the Command Sergeant Major for the United States Army Fire Center of Excellence at Fort Sill. Brigadier General Shane Morgan, Commandant, United States Army Field Artillery School, and his wife Katie. Command Sergeant Major Paul Fluharty, Command Sergeant Major, United States Army Field Artillery School. Brigadier General Curtis King, Commandant, United States Army Air Defense Artillery School, and his wife Kim. Brigadier General Rory Crook, Director, Long Range Precision, Fires Cross-Functional Team, and his wife Lisa. Colonel Michael Bearfield, Chief of Staff, United States Army, Fire Center of Excellence in Fort Sill, and his wife Carrie. For the sequence of events, please refer to your program. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the invocation presented by Chaplain Blazer.
Please bow your heads as I pray. Gracious Lord, I give thanks for the hard work and dedication of General Pritchett to the fires community. His leadership, creativity, endurance, and leading and integrating our National Guard community created a strong foundation of cooperation and success on the modern battlefield. As he returns to Alabama, give his family peace in their home and new friends to make their life better. As General Wertzler begins his leadership, strengthen him with wisdom and insight in planning and setting the conditions for a stronger future in the fires community. Give him endurance in caring for soldiers, families, and DA civilians. Allow his character to be an example for others to follow, building a strong foundation for the future of our Army. Bless his family and all the families he will lead. In your name, amen.
Please be seated. At this time, Sergeant First Class Casey Peterson from the Fire Center of Excellence Army National Guard team is presenting a bouquet of flowers to Mrs. Pritchett in appreciation of her selfless service and support to the Fire Center of Excellence in the Lawton Fort Sill community. Sergeant First Class Thomas Acker is now presenting a bouquet of flowers to Mrs. Wertzler, welcoming the Wertzler family into their new roles with the Fire Center of Excellence. Participating in today's ceremony are the Pride of Fort Sill, the 77th United States Army Band under the direction of Staff Sergeant Grant Boyd. The installation color guard provided by the 434 Field Artillery Brigade. The color sergeant is Drill Sergeant Carter Abrill. The installation flag detail provided by the 428 Field Artillery Brigade. The NCOIC is Sergeant First Class Cody McEwen. The Fort Sill Salute Battery, Bravo Battery, 2nd Battalion, 2nd Field Artillery, under the direction of 2nd Lieutenant Joseph Hilliard. The Honor Guard Commander for today's ceremony is Major Oliver Gooden, the Deputy Assistant Commandant for the Army National Guard Field Artillery. The official party for today's ceremony is Major General Brooks, Brigadier General Promotable Pritchett, and Brigadier General Wertzler. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the presentation of honors to Major General Brooks. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, Major General Phil Brooks.
All right. Right. All right. Well, hey, good afternoon. And aside from a real breezy day blowing through my long, thick hair, as the mayor would say, it's some kind of wonderful day out here. The weather has cooperated on our behalf. But family and friends of Team Lawton Fort Sill, thank you, and thanks for attending today's ceremony, and thanks for what you continue to do for Team Lawton Fort Sill. Before I begin my remarks, let's just take a minute to recognize the Fort Sill Half Section, the 77th Band, the Salute Battery, and of course the Color Guard. You'll join me in a round of applause. So first of all, I'd like to welcome the Wertzler family here with Brian today and your lovely bride, Jennifer, of nearly 23 years. As I read your information there, who traveled all the way from the bluegrass state of Kentucky Hashtag Go Cats. Big Blue Nation. I think your children, Tyler, Reagan, and Madison may be joining us online today, so welcome to you as well. I'd also like to welcome the Pritchett family. And Lori and I are glad you and Julie were both able to make it out. Obviously, we prefer Julie, but it's glad to have Dave here as well. And Clay and Chris, I'm sure maybe watching online today, so thanks for joining us today. Now, a little known fact, Dave's a graduate of Gardendale High School in Alabama, obviously. But I will tell you, he's probably the only Auburn fan to graduate from that high school because he just couldn't get Roll Tide off his tongue. But we're not holding that against him, and we're glad to have him, and I'll say it only once, War Eagle. So glad to have you back here, Dave. Now, what I would tell you, though, is in the tradition of family service, as I looked at the history of both of these general officers, they have come from a long line of distinguished service. One had a grandfather who enlisted at the age of 15 into the 82nd Airborne Division, jumped into Normandy, and became a first sergeant by the age of 20. Another one had a grandfather who served in the Marine Corps and survived the Battle of Iwo Jima. And then finally one who served as a Ranger in World War II. And I appreciate you and those that have gone before you as you continue to serve here. But today we bid farewell to Dave Pritchett, and we welcome Brian Wertzler as the Deputy Commanding General for the Army National Guard for our Field Artillery. And as we continue delivering the Army of 2030 and building the Army of 2040, we rely heavily on our National Guard teammates to help carry that load, to help us identify, structure, and guide an incredibly fast-paced and continuous transformation, which will be vital to large-scale combat and success for our joint force of the future. And as I said in the awards ceremony, a significant portion of our fire force, both field and air defense artillery, resides in our National Guard. And because of this, it's imperative that we maintain strong and seamless connections with and through our National Guard contingent, led by these great gentlemen standing before us today, or sitting now. Now, General Dave Pritchett transitioned from his post here on Fort Sill and has now taken the helm as the Adjutant General in Alabama. And during his time as the DCG for Field Artillery, he helped advance modernization efforts, continued professional development of the National Guard Fire Force, and continued to increase the Fire Force readiness. He also served as the principal advisor to the chair of the National Guard's Fires Readiness Advisory Council, and was dual-hatted as the Land Component Commander of the Wyoming National Guard. Now, previously, Dave served here as our National Guard Chief of Staff, and he and Julie have been mainstays and even better teammates here on Fort Sill. Dave, thanks to you and your family for your dedication and tireless efforts over the last 2 years. We wish you all the best in your new role in Alabama, as well as your state partnership with Romania. And please pass along our regards to Major Generals Marine, Christian Dan, and Dragos Jakob on your next visit. We're very proud of you. Now, Brigadier General Brian Wertzler comes to us also highly recommended with another resume that speaks for itself. He's a distinguished and extensive member of the 138th Field Artillery Brigade, having served for 25 years from E1 through Brigade Commander. And Brian's most recent assignment was the Deputy Adjutant General in Kentucky, where he was responsible for recruiting, training, and equipping the 6,500 plus soldiers assigned to the Kentucky Army National Guard. Now, Brian, we look forward to having you and Jennifer on Team Law Fort Sill. And the Army's recent structure changes have a lot in store for the National Guard's Field Artillery, and I'm confident we have the right person in the seat to help us manage that growth. Now, Brian told you in our office call, as a member of Team Lawton Steel now, you'll need to get familiar with our Fires 50. And I'll introduce you to one of my favorites. And that's Fires 50, number 32. You got your card in front of you. But it says high standards, a positive again, welcome Brigadier General Wertzler and family to your new role, and I'll see you again soon to the Pritchett family. This will defend, fire strong. Thanks very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brigadier General Promotable David Pritchett.
Hey, good afternoon. Major General Brooks, Command Sergeant Major Sartain. I'm not going to go through the rest of everyone, but all the rest of our senior leaders and the civilians' families. It's a great day to be here. And a quick story. When I convinced Julie to come out here in 2018, she asked me, she's like, what's the weather like in Oklahoma? And I said, well, it's not much different from Alabama. Now, mind you, this was the end of July. So when we got off the plane here to come and look at the house that she had to see before we went over here in Academic Heights, we got off on the tarmac here in Lawton, Fort Sill, and it was 115 degrees. And she said, this is not like Alabama. So true. Hey, listen, it's an honor to have served here since 2018, and I'll tell you, I've learned a lot, and there's a lot of you here, and I'm not going to get into the name calling because I'll miss somebody. But what we've done since 2018 when it comes to modernization of both the field artillery and air defense is amazing. I tell you, I couldn't even spell TAA when I got here, and just understanding how the Army runs and being taught all about that, and just seeing the unbelievable growth that we've experienced since really 2017-18 is just remarkable in both our branches, ADA and field artillery. And I tell the story because I took every opportunity when I was here, where there's bullet classes with the captain's career courses, to sit down with lunch and learns, mentors. The most enjoyable thing I did was the historical runs here, which taught me a lot about the history of the post. But I said, when I got in right on the heels or right after Desert Storm, the field artillery branch in particular was shrinking dramatically. And I tell a story about how Alabama, at that time when I got commissioned in 1991, we had 4 artillery battalions in the state. Now, to be fair, one of those was a reserve battalion. We had 3, actually we had 5 if you count the Marine Corps battalion. We have 1 left. And so fast forward and looking at the growth, not that dramatic of growth, but the only branches growing really in the Army are our 2 branches, with a few minor exceptions. But it's remarkable to be part of this branch again, and it's exciting times. And for the record, for the 88 Commandant, where you at, King? You still here? All right, yeah, right there on the front row. So I mentored one of my dear friend's sons, who was a West Point grad, had the honor of going and swearing him in. But I mentored him into being, an air defense officer, because he said, that's what artillery stuff. I don't know about all those rough marches, but he graduated here recently, and he's down at Fort Bliss doing amazing stuff. So it's just good to be a fair team player, right? But I really have learned a lot here with the initial military training. Again, it's a target-rich environment for mentoring, and I really try to do that as much as I can. We did the Colonel's Mess on, but I remember I started hearing a recurring theme at lunch, and it would be these senior colonels who were either getting ready to retire or maybe PCSing somewhere else, and the theme was, we fought coming PCSing to Fort Sill, and we realized once we got here that this place was pretty special. And a lot of them are retired and are still living here. I see one of them here in the audience today. So we really have learned a lot. And Fires 50 number 25 says Army is a people business, and I believe that. I'm a recovering salesman for almost 29 years because I was a traditional guardsman, and I used to tell people, it's all about relationships, and that's not any different in the Army. And when I came here, I met a couple of really key individuals. Major General Reiner, who was one of the most respected Army National Guard general officers, who led the FRAC when I first got here, was introduced to him, got to be pretty close to him, and then he was replaced by Major General Porter as the FRAC chair. And they asked me, would you be interested in coming to Wyoming? I said, DJ, yes. My wife, and making sure she was good with the move. I interviewed for the job and was selected. And as I said earlier, soon after I got there, I was assigned back here as a DCG. that was important because I got to stay at Fort Sill, but I also got to stay involved in a large, although it's a small guard state, it's very large in terms of artillery formations. Brian and Jen, welcome to the team here. I will tell you that Brian is twice the field artillery officer I am. He has twice the experience, and he's definitely the right man for the job at the right time. And I know you'll enjoy your time here. What I would just like to ask the FCO enterprise writ large is, as we all dial back a little bit on our vouchers and who we can place in certain positions at Knox Hall, Snow Hall, just remember, as the CG said, we're 58% of the field artillery, and 90% of our soldiers are doing their other job right now. So we can't lose sight of what it takes for the guardsmen to continue to improve their safety. I'm not asking to lower the standards. We just can't lose sight of how we train because it's difficult sometimes. So I want to just say a real big thanks to my family. We left a comfortable lifestyle in Auburn, Alabama, 2018, sold our forever home. So never say never. I moved our kids here. Our son was in his 10th grade year, and our daughter was in junior high. And I will tell you, Julie, she had some great mentors here, but she excelled as a senior guard spouse and a senior Army spouse. Leading luncheons, showers. She volunteered at the post-trader store, and ultimately she took over management of that store, so she handed it off. So thank you, dear, for the journey. It's been an exciting adventure. And I'll just end with this, fire speech number 45, and this is one that probably gets repeated most here at all of them. But it's true, life is fun with great teammates. Or life is more fun with great teammates. Y'all have been great teammates, and I cherish the time here. God bless. Thank you. Fire strong. For the matter about.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Deputy Commanding General for the Army National Guard Field Artillery, Brigadier General Brian Wertzler.
General Brooks, General Pritchett, General Crooks, General Morgan, General King, General Parker, Sergeant Major Sartain, Sergeant Major Foolhardy, Sergeant Major McCree, Sergeant Major Pearson, Mr. Gallagher, thank you for your attendance today and a warm welcome to the fire team. General Pritchett, you've done an incredible job here at Fort Sill for the past 5 years. Your knowledge and understanding and the relationships you have with the fires team will be hard to follow. Thank you for your service to the world's best artillerymen and women, and congratulations on your new assignment as Adjutant General of the great state of Alabama. I will work diligently to accomplish Fires 50, number 40. Leave the Jersey in a better place than you found it, but it's a hard task to accomplish, but I'll work every day towards that, and I'll learn them all, Chief. Sir. General Brooks, over the past 34 years, I've witnessed the ebbs and flows of field artillery employment, and am extremely excited to join the Fire Strong team at a time when the nation and the world are once again recognizing the importance and calling upon the King of Battle to be ready. I too will work diligently to support your vision towards improved soldier readiness, force modernization, and developing the Army of 2030. None of us serve alone, and with us today is my wife, 23 years, Jennifer. I want to thank you for your continued support and service to our Army. I'd also like to thank the Salute Battery, the band, the Color Guard, and the many others that contributed to the celebration today. You make every ceremony at Fort Sill better and uphold the longest standing traditions of our Army. As we close, I continue to pray for the safety of our servicemen and women around the world. May God continue to bless you and our great nation, United States of America. King of Battle, Fire Strong.
Commanders often use retreat ceremonies to honor exemplary individuals, thus publicly recognizing their exceptionally high standards and devotion to duty. Today's retreat ceremony is in honor of Brigadier General Promotable Pritchett and Brigadier General Wertzler. The bugle call, retreat, was first used by the French Army to signal their rank and file to go to their quarters, and for the sentries to begin challenging all visitors. The United States Army retained the bugle call, retreat, to signal the end of the duty day. The bugle call to the color is played shortly after retreat to alert all within hearing distance that the national colors are being retired for the day and to render the appropriate honors. Where and when possible, a salute gun is fired immediately after retreat, alerting all to come to the position of attention and render the hand salute as the national colors are being lowered. In honor of the service members deployed in defense of our nation, the national colors are displayed 24 hours a day. Brigadier General Promoter Pritchett and Brigadier General Wertzler will now take their posts for retreat. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for retreat. Please be seated. At this time, Corporal Maximilian Blotti of the Salute Battery is presenting Brigadier General Promoter Pritchett with a canister representing the retreat round fired in his honor. Corporal Blotti is now presenting Brigadier General Wertzler with a canister welcoming him as the new Deputy Commanding General, Army National Guard Field Artillery. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the Army song and remain standing as the colors are retired from the ceremony.
concludes today's ceremony.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes this afternoon's retreat ceremony. A reception for Brigadier General Promotable Pritchett and Brigadier General Wertzler will be starting shortly at the Patriot Club Ballroom. Thank you for attending. Fire strong, people first, winning matters, be all you can be.